This tutorial is how to dock the attendee pane in live meeting. In this tutorial, we're going to learn how to open the attendee pane, then how to dock it on the left, right, or bottom. Then we'll learn how to use the feedback response colors as they will be showing on the attendee pane. Lastly, for those of you that are actually leading the meeting and have presenter privileges, we're going to tell you how to change attendee privileges through the attendee pane so that everybody can interact on the whiteboard. Let's get started. You are looking at a live meeting flexible dashboard. It's flexible because there are a number of panes that you can open that allow us to interact with each other. The pane we're concerned with in this particular tutorial is how to open and dock the attendee pane. To open the attendee pane, you go up to the attendee menu that will be on the upper left part of your screen and left click on it one time. The attendee pane will open, but notice that at the top it's got a very narrow bar that has some little perforations in it. Those perforations represent that this is a tear away menu. This is one we're going to pull away from the menu at the top of the screen. So the first step is how to open the attendee pane. We've just done that by clicking on the attendee menu and bringing up the tear away menu. Now we're going to learn how to dock it. To dock it, you're going to left click on this narrow band at the top that has little perforations on it. You're going to left click and hold the mouse button down. You're going to take it through the center of the slide or the center of the screen and then slowly take it over to the left edge until you see the docking shadow, which is what appeared now. The docking shadow means you've got it in the right spot. Just release the mouse button. And when you do, it snaps into place. You'll know that you've done it correctly because now you'll see the word attendees. It's on a much thicker bar at the very top of the screen. It also has some space in between that floating panel and the slide or the whiteboard that you have open. The attendee pane can be docked in one of three locations. One is on the left as you see it now. That's where I tend to dock mine. But you can also pull it over to the right edge of the screen, wait for the docking shadow, and release it and dock it there. Or you can also dock it on the lower part of the screen. Again, wait for the docking shadow and release the mouse button, and it will appear at the bottom. So it's a floating panel. It's a floating dashboard because you can put that attendee pane wherever you want. It's important that you and everyone on your team dock the attendee pane because it's an important place for us to be able to exchange some feedback with each other. When you have 10 people in your meeting, you'll see 10 names here on this pane. Notice that after each name, there will also be a color block. The color block comes from the feedback panel on the upper right portion of the screen. Let's take a look. It's up over here on the right. Notice that after the color block, there's a downward facing triangle. We actually have 5 different colors that we can use for feedback. So spontaneously, you can say to your team, if you like this, give me the green. If you don't like it, give me a red. If you have in the middle, go ahead and make it a yellow. You can use these for other forms of feedback just by color type rather than by the words after this feedback panel. These words can be customized and you can make them your own words, but even if they're there, it doesn't matter. Just use the feedback colors. So if I go here and I change my color to red, maybe I said no, I didn't like that. Notice how now on the feedback panel, it shows it there. And so we can see real quickly if the team is agreeing or not agreeing to what we're saying, or if they want to move on to the next issue. Just have them give you a feedback color to represent their response. On the attendee pane, one of the things that you'll need to do at the beginning of every meeting is to set the attendee privileges. So your attendee pane, if you are a presenter, is going to look a little bit different than your attendees themselves because you'll have more privileges and rights. Notice here it says permissions. We want that. So click on permissions and there will be a menu of options here for you to use. The one you want to make sure that you check mark is to annotate current content. If you are using whiteboards or if you are annotating on documents brought into live meeting, by clicking on annotate current content, people will be able to use the annotation tools at the bottom part of the screen. So by default, your attendees cannot use these whiteboarding features. That's why you want to make sure that this is one of the first things you do when you come in to the live meeting as a presenter is to go in and enable the privilege for people to be able to interact with those whiteboard tools. So let's review what we've learned. We learned to open and dock the attendee pane. In our collaborative meetings, the attendee pane should be docked by everyone. So give this tutorial to people on your team to learn how to dock it themselves. We also learned to use the participant response colors on the attendee pane. This is an important way for us to exchange spontaneous communication. And if you are a presenter, we also learned that on the attendee pane is where you will change attendee privileges. This is Dr. Jaclyn Kostner, the Webinar Guru, signing off.